Hey, what's going on, everybody? So today I'm going to be talking about Little Nightmares. Little Nightmares is a horror puzzle platformer game that was released in 2017. This game centers around a small character who wears a yellow raincoat and has this lighter on them, and you go through different areas of this dark and strange otherworldly location filled with all these weird creatures and inhabitants that are pretty hard to explain. Honestly, the whole game is kind of hard to explain. At the core of it though, this is like a mysterious and darker puzzle game. You have to do various things to try and get further into the game, like finding keys to unlock doors and avoiding being seen by these eyes that turn you into stone and leeches that will eat you up, and of course all these strange things that are occupying this place who will chase after you whenever they see you. There's small areas where you can hide and sections of the rooms that you'll have to try and find a way to, get higher up and climb up, and a bunch of interesting creative devices that this game uses that changes up the scenery and the lighting, and it adds in all these kind of like new and interesting mechanics. This game was a ton of fun, and it really stood out immediately from any game that I had played before. It did remind me a bit of other, horror side-scrollers like Inside or Limbo, but because this wasn't a side-scroller, I don't think there's really a reason to compare it to those. It is somewhat limiting to where you can go, but you're always able to move like throughout any room that you're in, so it is nice to just have that free moving feel to it. You can also sprint and crouch and slide, and you use that lighter that you have on you at all times to help you out in dark areas, which there's a lot of. In general, the game was somewhat short, maybe around 5 hours or so, but I've always thought that was a pretty decent length for a game. Like anything in that 4 to 6 hour range seems to be a sweet spot for games like this, and any kind of game of this scale. In particular, any kind of puzzle game or platformer, I think. And yeah, this game is kind of scary, I definitely think horror is the right genre to put it in, but it's not terrifying by any means or filled with any kind of huge jump scares. It's just very atmospheric and has a lot of dark imagery and a pretty grotesque visual style at times, especially for the other characters in the game, like these really overweight guests that appear later on, or the chefs that you're running away from or, trying to avoid, and the sounds that all these characters make, and just the sounds in general for the game are really not super pleasant. They're not pleasant at all, and they add a lot of just dark feel and the strange feel of this world. And it's all just really cool to see everything that's going on from the perspective of this tiny character, as you can, climb up books and shelves or go underneath the flooring and see what's going on above you at the same time. And of course, by being so small, those ugly characters and everything, all this the weird structure and the weird architecture of these buildings and these rooms, it's only that much more threatening and that much more just kind of gives it that bigger presence, because of course they seem so massive in comparison. I do have to say there were a few times when it would be a little frustrating with the movement in the game. The movement is kind of heavy, and so there were times when I wouldn't quite make an accurate jump that I wanted to, or I would fall off a railing when I was kind of walking on it, and I would go a little bit too much to the left or to the right, and that was only frustrating because that would oftentimes lead to my death, and the game can sometimes take you back quite a ways, so that wasn't the best feeling, but that was a really minor issue that I had with it, and really the only one that I had. What I still can't really get over is just how good the game always looked. It had such a great way of playing with that lighting and with the coloring, and that only gets more and more impressive as you keep advancing through the game. Also, there is a DLC with this game, but I bought the physical copy of this a while back as the standard edition and just got around to playing it now, so I didn't get to try that out, but I really do want to play that soon. And I'm sure you've heard by now, but there's a sequel coming out early next year, so that's pretty exciting too. I saw this collector's edition for it that looks really cool, so I might have to look into that. But yeah, aside from that, that's all I've got for this one. I feel like I didn't really say enough about it because there really is a lot to talk about this game, and I bet it would be a great one for a Let's Play to see those initial reactions to all the weird things that happen, and especially the darker moments that I was really surprised by, because I went into this game kind of just thinking it would be a little bit tame, maybe because of the name, but that's definitely not the case. So thank you so much for watching this. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope you're doing well, and until the next one, take care everybody.